What the hell did I just read? So the book that I'm going to be talking about with you guys today, This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. Now, I really hope I said the author's name right. I think I did, but if I didn't, I'm sorry. So this book is a fiction story, which absolutely blows my mind because this book is insane. Like, it is so real. I cannot believe that it's fiction. Like, it kind of, when I was first reading it, it kind of made me worry about the author. Like, girl, you good? Like, should we be worried about you? Like, this is kind of scary that you came up with this in your mind. But then after reading it, I had to do a little bit more research on the book and the author, and come to find out that she did a ton of research on the specific subject before she wrote the book. Like, she got inspiration from different scenarios in order to write this story. And from what I understand, she had hours upon hours, months even, of research before she even started writing. She knew she wanted to write about this specific subject, but she wanted to make it as real as possible. So, and I respect that she took all of this time to really do research on the certain subject before she wrote the story. The reason that she wrote the story was to raise awareness. So this is a young adult story, and when I first realized that it was a young adult story, again, I was kind of confused. Like, I don't know if I would want my young adult child to read something like this. But then at the same time, she's doing it to raise awareness of the situation, because it has become such an epidemic in our world nowadays that it's happening all over the place. Now, you guys are probably wondering, okay, what is the situation? Like, what is going on? What are you talking about? What's the situation that's so real? So this book is based off of a school shooting. The story takes place in Opportunity, Alabama, at Opportunity High School. And it is based off of 5 main characters: Claire, Tyler, Autumn, Sylv, and Tomas. And the way the book is written, it's written a little bit differently. It's not written in the form of like chapters, like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's written in perspectives from 4 out of the 5 main characters. Those characters being Claire, Autumn, Sylv, and Tomas. And all of the characters, all 5 of the characters are tied together in some way. Like, Autumn and Tyler are brother and sister, Sylv and Tomas are brother and sister, and then Claire and Tyler were in a previous relationship, and then Autumn and Sylv are in a current relationship. Now, this video is probably going to be a little bit shorter because there's a lot of stuff going on in this book that I can't go into detail about. Like, I don't want to give it away, for one thing. I've been trying to do better about that, giving away stuff that's going on in the book. And 2, I don't know if YouTube will let me go into in-depth detail about a lot of this stuff. Like I said before, this book is very real. It's not, like I said, it's fiction. It's not based, like, everything that happened in this book didn't actually happen, but they're still very real situations. Like, it's a school shooting. A student is the one doing the shooting. And then there is also topics of abuse, rape, sexual harassment. It even touches base on the LGBTQ plus community. Now, everything that happens in the book happens within 54 minutes. So all the incredibly sad, terrible, awful things that happen all happen within under an hour. Book is absolutely insane. Like, I sat down last night and I read this book cover to cover. Like, I couldn't stop reading it. And there's not very many books or movies or even songs that make me cry. This book made me cry. Like, by the time I finished it, I just sat there and I was like, holy shit. Like, oh my God. I'm not a crier, and the fact that this book made me cry just goes to show how detailed it is. Like, it's insanely detailed. It's very graphic. It's very disturbing is the best way I can think to describe it. It's disturbing. Like, the author did a very good job of describing in detail everything that was going on, everything that they were seeing, everything that they were feeling, and you really get into it. Like, it's hard not to feel the emotions, the fear, the terror, the pain, all of it. It's really hard not to feel all of the things that these characters are feeling as this absolutely horrible thing is happening to them. So the book kind of jumps back and forth between past and present, and it does that just so you can get a better idea of why the shooter is doing what he's doing, as well as giving you a little bit of background on the relationships between the characters. And it also gives you a little bit of background on some of the emotional, physical, and mental trauma that a lot of the main characters went through leading up to this terrible event. And another cool thing about the way this book is written is that it's, like I said, it's written from instead of having chapters, it's written from the perspectives of 4 out of the 5 main characters, but it also has inserts of like tweets. Like, I don't know if you can see that very good, but it's got like inserts of tweets and conversations between people who are either there, or it's got some from like news stations interacting with the students trying to get information. It's like text messages and phone calls between parents and children and their kids that are in the school. So you really get just that much more in touch with not just the main characters, but even just side characters and just random students. Like, you don't know who a lot of these people are that are tweeting these things, but it makes it that much more real because it is bringing in perspectives of everybody involved in the situation. And it's just so devastating. Like, it breaks my heart that something like this is going on in our worlds. Like, I have a little bit of a personal connection with this book because when I was in high school, there was a school shooting at my high school. It wasn't to this level, but still, I remember being locked down, having all of our parents called. Like, I remember how scary it was knowing that there was potentially someone walking around with a gun and someone who had shot someone had died from this experience. And so I just remembering the fear and the anxiety and the stress that I felt when that happened to me, I can't even imagine having to live through something like this. Because this is a whole nother level. Like I said, it's very detailed, it's very graphic, it's absolutely horrible. Like, it breaks my heart just thinking about it. Like, I just read it and it's still, like, I had to sit down and film immediately because it hit me so hard. And this is going to be one of those books that sticks with me for a really long time. Like, I will never read this again. I have some books that I love and that I will read over and over and over. This is one book that I only need to read it once. Like, it was good. It was a good read. It's very real. It's a good read, but it's not something that I will ever want to read again just because it's so horrible. Like, it makes me so sad reading this. So if you want a good cry, if you want an on the edge of your seat read, I definitely recommend reading this. It's a very read at your own risk story because, like I said, it's sad, it's very emotional, it's very traumatizing because it's something that is happening and will continue to happen, unfortunately, in our worlds. And if you're a parent and you have a child in high school, you might let them read this just to make them more aware, maybe even make them a little bit more cautious. Like, I have a hard time saying that just because I don't want I don't want our kids being afraid to go outside. I don't want our students being cautious of everyone and everything. But unfortunately, this is something that can happen, something that will happen, something that has happened. This story really hit home just because of what I went through, and it's just one of those books that really gets you in your feels. And so if you want to go ahead and check it out, I actually found this at Walmart of all places. Every time I go to Walmart, I have to walk past the book section. Sometimes I find some gems, sometimes I find some not so good ones, and then sometimes I find books like this where it's just, it's the best way I can think to describe it. It's just a mind-blowing story that I think everybody needs to read. Well, that's it, you guys. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you really like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss a post. I'll see you next time here at The Comfort Zone. Bye.